Hello. Today I'm going to do a book discussion about why is genre so important to us as readers. Now first I will elaborate on exactly what it is that I am asking. Since I've been watching booktube videos over the last 6 or 7 months, I've noticed quite often that I see videos where people are discussing the drawbacks and the sort of bad image that certain genres have. Now often this is YA, but it is also associated with other genres. And I don't actually understand why anybody should be bothered by this. I mean, it has never bothered me what genre I read and what other people think of what I'm reading. That could be just me. But we'll see. So, let's start with YA, or Young Adult, of which this, The Maze Runner, is an example. Now, the issue with young adult, from what I can tell, is people seem to think that because of the name, with emphasis being on the young adult, but specifically young, is that it's somehow less intelligent and immature. So if you read it whilst you are out and about, say on a bus or train, then you are somehow a lesser reader in some way. Which is curious, to say the least. Now the second category I will mention is one that I do read quite a lot of, that being science fiction, of which this fairly hefty monster thing is an example. Also happens to be a book I love. Science fiction suffers from a similar problem, just in a slightly different way. Because it is science fiction, the overall impression and the bad press comes from such it being thought of as a nerdy or a geeky book to read. And you need to be generally thought of as a bit of a high intellectual, so to speak, to be a real, proper science fiction reader. This is almost definitely inaccurate, but that's the stereotype. And this seems to be one that some people are affected by, as people don't want to be reading books that make them appear like that in a public area. Which is understandable, but I don't understand myself the true link between them. Because to me, and I'm not about sci-fi now in general, why anybody should be bothered by what you read in any kind of public environment. I read a book because I want to read it. Now, a genre that never suffers from any kind of bad press, because it is such a wide category as such, is fantasy. Which this, my current book, is an example of. Now, the fantasy genre doesn't have any kind of bad press because to a lot of people, and this is understandable, it is essentially a genre of pure imagination. Fantastical, therefore, equals unlimited imagination. So as a result, this generally isn't for others a bad thing, and people are never bothered by fantasy books when they are reading them out, or indeed contemporary. Actually, a lot of genres don't generally have this problem. It's mainly, from what I can tell, the aforementioned YA and sci-fi. Some people seem to be greatly bothered by it, and I understand why. It's just something that really puzzles me a lot, because ultimately I'm the one reading this book. Therefore, why should anybody else and their opinion of what I'm reading affect your ability to read that in any situation? I mean, certain books, yes. I mean, I'm not going to read 50 Shades of Grey on the bus. Well, I'm not going to read 50 Shades of Grey ever. It is a debatable subject matter, let's say. And it's not entirely something I would want to read in a certain company. So, that's really all I want to say. It's just something that's been puzzling me for a while now. I just felt like I wanted to discuss it. Please leave me your thoughts on your ideas, and if you are bothered by the sort of genre discrimination, so to speak, I hope you found something about this interesting. It's certainly quite an interesting idea to film, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.